Move. Bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
What's going on, everybody? We are back to give you guys a new movie review. This is the up and coming Jurassic World, the third movie in the trilogy, Dominion. I have here myself and Lucas. What's going on, Lucas?
Oh, nothing much. Here to talk dinosaurs.
Yes, sir.
And a dinosaur I didn't know existed.
Well, I guess we're gonna get
Well,
it.
let me phrase. I'm not going to say I didn't know it existed, but it's not a normal dinosaur.
You talking about claws, right?
No, not claws. Gigabit. I am not saying it right. Gigabit-osaurus.
So this is we'll get into it. We'll get into it. This is a non-spoiler review, guys, just for context. We're gonna go and dissect the film. We've already did a first reaction. Hopefully, go and check that out on TikTok and on YouTube. But as far as the film, we're gonna go into things and break it down in detail. So as far as the shots and some of the moments in this, I thought that these were some standout scenes. I don't know if it was because it was actually outside in the outside world, but I feel like some of the shots worked really well in this one. I don't know if you disagree or agree, but I was very entertained by some of the shot choices and some of the suspenseful moments. Do you think that's more because of Colin being back, or you think it's just they're trying to up the ante to the last one and try to elevate
it's
new
a
ways?
mixture. It's a mixture of Colin being back for sure, but also it has a lot to do with just what the initial premise of Jurassic Park was supposed to be. I mean, when you hear Steven Spielberg talk about the original film, or if you've read the original books by Michael Crichton, all of them were poppy type of books, poppy type of films, but the horror element was always a huge part of it. And then certain sequels have gone on and literally forgotten about the horror element in it, and they went for the campy kids version, which was Fallen Kingdom that we saw, which was The Lost World, which was the second one. We saw that from that one too. And just like they kind of course corrected when they did Jurassic Park 3 from Lost World, they did the same thing here from Fallen Kingdom and saying, hey, we may need to course correct this a little bit and bring it back to what this supposed to be, because dinosaurs in the real world should be scary.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the thing that would entice me about this movie, even though I didn't like the last one. I was like, okay, now the dinosaurs are out. What happens now? How do we coexist with actual dinosaurs without people riding? Because it's not just one populated area; it's everywhere. And I think they set up some really good scenes. I do have some nitpicks about some things, but what was one of your favorite setup moments from a suspense standpoint in this film?
The one of my favorite suspense moments is Bryce's character as she is going. Wow, I can't say too much without giving away the plot. But Bryce Howard has a moment in this film where she's in a precarious situation, and when she's in that precarious situation, she has to escape a dinosaur, and it's a shot of her underwater as the dinosaur is over top of her. That is possibly the best shot of the film.
Yeah,
It's one of the best shots I've ever seen. And that suspense moment was so high because it played to the old the killers in the room type of suspense.
Right.
Where everything built until that moment as you clearly see somebody, or in this case, something stalking her and wondering if she's going to get away.
Right.
Kind of reminiscent of real quick, kind of reminiscent of Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he kind of did the exact same thing in that movie that she pulls off here.
Yeah, there was definitely some moments that definitely had that same feeling. So I did like that about this film. They do play up a lot on the nostalgia. Pretty much everybody that was in the original films, except for the people that were in the third one, are back in this one with some subtle surprises here and there. Did the how I put it nicely? Did the nostalgia take away from it, or did it add to it, or did it complement to it for you?
It didn't take it away because I didn't really feel, besides the actual characters being back, they didn't really. It's only one of a moment where they play on nostalgia, and it's funny that they played on it the way they did. But other than that, it's like I didn't get a nostalgic feeling from the film. What I got is okay, these characters are back, but we're not gonna afterlife you to death with these characters being back, which I absolutely hated that movie for that reason and other reasons, but I really hated it for that reason. It leaned super hard into nostalgia. Here, it introduced you to the characters. It plays a little bit off the original, some like tongue-in-cheek jokes with it, but it doesn't go full out to it because they still realize we have other people from this new trilogy that have to shine in this film.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody gets. I think this is far. I'll say it off rip. This is way better than the second one. To me, this is the best in the trilogy of the new trilogy, Jurassic World. I think that you probably agree that Jurassic Park is still the best one.
I mean, I don't think anybody could ever ever disagree with Jurassic Park being the best one. That's hard to even like compare the rest of these movies to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's just something about this one was just very entertaining. And it helped me along the way to have moments and scenarios where there was suspense that was being built, but then there wasn't like over the top campiness and over the top humor. Like they actually had moments of dread. I would have liked them to dabble into a possibility of a little bit more further darker tone, but I think this was fine for what it really was. What about the actors for this for you? Who was any of the standouts for you in this one?
I mean, Bryce Howard is amazing in this film in every way, shape, form, or fashion. I know it was so many jokes, so many jokes about her initially with this series, especially because her character in the first film ran the entire movie in heels.
Yep.
Which set women back 20 years when she did that. But here, I love the new element that they introduced to the character in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that element heightens the stuff that Bryce does well. She could be a great scream queen if she ever decided to dive directly into horror. She has the face for it, she has the chops for it, and she pulls it off. Almost every good, thrilling, horror-esque moment involves her.
Yeah.
And she does a great job at it.
It's something that she's able to do that I feel like a lot of actors can't do. It feels like she can just drop an emotion off of the dime of her eyes. Like her eyes will just all of a sudden start to well up, and you can feel the tension coming off of her. And I think that since when she was her debut, The Village? Was that her debut?
Bryce, I want to say no. I want to say that was her starring, possibly debut, but I doubt that would be her debut film. That would be odd.
Because with that, like that was when I was like, oh, okay, she can pull this off.
Could be though. I could be wrong. No. Oh yeah, she's in multiple movies before that movie.
Oh, okay, I was curious.
She's in Parenthood, Apollo 13. Like she's in a couple of other ones, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was just her first starring role was in The Village.
Yeah. I think that Mamadou Ati and Jeff Goldblum, I really like them in this film. For different reasons. Like Jeff Goldblum, like sometimes he can be a scene stiller, but then sometimes like I just love his witty banter. Like I've always liked that about him in the films, even in the first one. But the weird thing was with Mamadou Ati, like he's one of the most important characters in this. And it's weird because he just kind of comes out of absolute nowhere. But I think that they use him and prop him in such a way that I really did like. Another character I did like was what is it? What is her name? Oh my goodness. I forgot the character's name. Oh no.
Which one?
I don't want to just give her the name that
wow.
Kayla.
Maisley Lockhart.
No, Kayla.
Oh.
The name of the character's name is Kayla, but it was DeWanda Wise. She's a pilot.
Okay.
and she kind of comes out of nowhere, literally. And I kind of felt like they could have used her character in a very different way, but for what they did with her character, I really did like her on screen. Like they gave her some really cool moments. I just felt like they could have done something different with her character. They just didn't capitalize on, in my opinion, and I really don't know why. Because I literally, you kept on bringing it up. I was like, that would have been so perfect.
It could have been an angle that I would have thought. I for sure thought they were going to go with, and they decided not to. And I was a little shocked by that. I was a little shocked by that. Not going exactly where I thought, because it was obvious where to go with it. And I'm like, they got to be going here with this character. But as it turns out, that's not what they were doing at all.
Yeah. But there's a lot of other characters that they're doing different things with. And I don't know. As far as the story is concerned, like, how do you feel about the story?
Nonsensical.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
The story makes no sense. None at all. If someone was to ask me, what's the plot of this film, I would tell them it's Dinosaurs Run Amok Part 6. Because if I was to try to get into the details and say, hey, the plot involves a scientist, he plays a hand in creating these super bugs that are going to destroy the world's food population. At the same exact time, they are attempting to herd animals to a secret location, and a company has government funding in the billions of dollars for this. And yet the guy, for some odd reason, wants to create a superbug to make more money. You would get lost. You'd be like, no, I don't want to see that movie. Like, I don't know what's going on. By the way, also, it's people that don't belong with people in precarious situations. Like, it is so much going on in this movie that you have to literally go in it and isolate yourself and say, hey, I'm here to see a movie with dinosaurs chasing humans.
Yeah, I think
as long as you give me that, I can get away with this. This plot is horrible. I don't know a better way to put it. It is a horrible plot. It makes no sense. I don't know who the hell wrote this. Colin. I'm sorry, Colin wrote this story. And if you know the history of Colin, you understand that maybe, just maybe, he's not the best person to depend on to write stuff. And here, it's nonsensical at best. That's the best way to put it. But it's an excuse to get everybody together. So you get the movie because of it.
Yeah. I think for me, it was like this moment right here. It was when I just turned my brain off and I was like, I'm here for the ride. Let's go. Because this moment right here, I'll kind of describe it for you without spoiling it. It's like literally Chris Pratt is on a motorcycle and raptors are chasing him while dinosaurs are eating people around the area, around monuments. And it's just insane. But it's kind of like the way they even do it doesn't make sense. But the thing about it that I got to deduct from the film is, to me, you really didn't need the bugs at all. The bugs were not necessary. I think that personally, the circumstance that dinosaurs are out and around the world,
it's more than enough.
How to figure out to keep people alive, because they said that they had a scene where it was like the news was bringing up, like, people were like wondering what they should do, what the government was going to do about animals, and the government was like, make sure you be careful around. I'm like, Ninja, these are dinosaurs. What are you talking about?
But that would make sense but that's something that would make a lot of sense for the government to say, it's nothing to worry about. It's none of your concern. They're just regular animals. Just don't unnecessarily feed them or pet them. But like, here's the weird part though. And I had to look this up because I find this hilarious. The synopsis for this movie, and I'm going to say it. 4 years after destruction of the last island, dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. The fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are to remain the apex predators on a planet they now share with history's most ferocious creatures in a new era. You notice that says literally nothing about the key element of this movie in its plot.
Right.
So it's even they are confused on why a certain thing was put in this movie because it makes no sense. It is not needed. It is a huge distraction out of left field that leaves you just like, whose decision was it to do that?
Yeah, and it looks cool.
It
It
definitely looks cool and creepy.
It makes for some interesting moments, specifically with Bryce and Laura Dern. But outside of that, man, I would have like a moment where you have just a normal civilian, and all of a sudden, like a T-Rex just rolls through their house, and they are terrified because they've lost a family member, and they're distraught. Like people, like showing people like upset. You know what I'm saying? Like what has happened and what to do across the world. That to me would have been what I thought this movie was going to be tonally, but instead they go a completely different route. And I'm like, y'all really just accepting this? Like, nah, I wouldn't.
Or you can you can include the bugs. We're just gonna say the bugs. You can include the bugs in this film, but not make them a key central plot line of the movie. That's it. That's all you had to do. And I think they completely missed the mark there. That is the dumbest thing in the world that those were even included in this film. But at no point in time is it enough to take away from they literally give you exactly what you asked for.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the key part there.
The entertainment, the suspense, even the visuals, having your favorite characters, and they're not coming out of left field. They're playing their characters to the T, if not a little bit better in certain cases with certain characters.
And none of them are ghosts that comes back to help his granddaughter fight ghosts. Like again, it's a way to do nostalgia that makes absolutely no sense. And it's the way they chose to do it, which was all these extra elements that were highly unnecessary. But the key characters, you got to see enough of them where it kept you intrigued.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's a very entertaining film. Plot is out there. Score is okay. It's not the best. But the visuals and the action, it'll keep you riveted, and I think you'll enjoy it. For me, what do you want to grade this? A to F.
Let's say a B minus. Because it gives you, again, I can't be mad at a film that gives me exactly what I expected. Like in the end, I expected dinosaurs eating people and dinosaurs chasing people and thrilling moments. This movie gives you that in spades. It gives you exactly what you want. Yes, there are plots of this movie that make no sense. Yes, there are things that make no sense. Yes, there's dialogue in it that is absolutely horrible. But in the end, this is nothing but a huge summer popcorn flick.
Yeah.
And it's just not at the level of a Top Gun and popcorn flick. It's on the level of in the multiverse of madness type of popcorn flick, where it's so flawed. But if it's something that you enjoy, you'll sit back and watch it and be like, okay, I can see this a couple of times. It's not harming me to watch it again. It's not one of those type of films.
Right. Yeah. Where do you rank this one from all 6 that have come out before? Or 5?
Well, this is possibly top 3. It definitely is behind the first one. And as I now have started to think about it more, because I said a different answer earlier today, right after we came out of the movie. But as I started to think about it, it's behind the first one, the original Jurassic World. So it's possibly 3rd. Because it's right. It's real close to Jurassic Park 3 for me, which I know some people hated it. I loved it because of the horror elements that are in that movie. And this one has the same thing. And that movie's plot is not nearly as bad as this plot is. But this movie's more fun.
Yeah, it is.
So it's about 3rd, and it's a close 3rd to 2nd. It's clearly better than Lost World, because that's the worst movie out these bunches.
Yeah.
No Fallen Kingdom is.
For
a second.
I think I'm in between a B and a C. I'm basically right in the same round. Like I was very entertained by this. This is the best. Again, I said it. Like this is the best out of the to me, this is the best out of the Jurassic World trilogy. I actually like this one better than Jurassic World. This is my number 2 out of all of them because Jurassic World, it did. I'll never forget the 2 little boys in the ball rolling down and how that whole plan, how that plant plotted out. But just before that, they literally watched their babysitter just get decimated, and I was like, they did that woman so bad. It was entertaining. I was like, why did that happen? I don't know. I like this one a lot more than Jurassic World and the Jurassic World 2. I'll rest this at my number 2. And I guess I'll leave it at a B- as well. So we'll have the same score this time, which is ironic. But make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Let me know your thoughts on what you think about this movie whenever you go and see it. And we have a lot more reviews coming. We are going to be doing press coverage for Tribeca, so there's going to be a lot of reviews coming. So stick with us. Make sure you have your post notifications on so you don't miss a thing.
Oh, and quick.
Yeah.
The main dinosaur in the movie is actually a real dinosaur. I really just had to look that up.
Are you sure it wasn't one they put together and spliced or something?
Nope.
So
I had to literally look it up. It is a real dinosaur.
Well, the weird thing is, I like the freaking one that I don't think you can classify as a dinosaur, but the one that
I don't know what the hell that was.
That was awesome. I love that. The design for that, I was like, I don't know what this thing is, but it's terrifying. And yeah.
I think that was a real. I think they, besides that second dinosaur, on the main villain dinosaur on Fallen Kingdom, I think they try to pride themselves on making all of these dinosaurs as real as humanly possible. So the one in this movie, and that's why everyone knew what that dinosaur was. I think that was the catch to the audience, is that every scientist knew what that dinosaur was. So that tells you it wasn't one spliced together.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, by the way, y'all, there's some of them dinosaurs be doing some tricky stuff in this movie.
Hey.
Some of the folks get caught up real bad.
I mean, if Jurassic World as a series did nothing, it truly took away, to me, the terror that people have for T-Rexes. Because, as a little kid, you hear about a T-Rex.
Terrifying.
He is terrifying.
Right.
The Jurassic World Park series has made you understand raptors were the most dangerous dinosaurs humanly possible, because they were the smartest ones and the deadliest ones, because they would just cut your throat for no reason. It's a part of time in this movie with Sam Neill, and this is not a spoiler, says the raptors are smart. They used to just sever your head a little bit. He said now they understand, sever you completely and then eat you. Right. It's a haunting line to hear him say, because it shows you the progression of the raptors throughout all of these movies and how they advance themselves.
Which is insane to actually really accept. But with all ado, we're going to go. We'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Peace, people.
Filing out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my